Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Maybe you can start. Excellencies, distinguished participant, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to represent the Secretariat and its team at UNDESA at this briefing. Before we start the meeting, on behalf of the Secretariat, we'd like to announce some housekeeping guidance. Please note that this meeting will be recorded and posted on the forum's website. For the Q&A session, if you like to take the floor, please indicate country or organization and your name through the Google form in the chat box of the WebEx platform. When not speaking, please make sure to connect your audio and keep your microphone muted and camera turned off. On this note, it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Ambassador Kennedy, permanent representative of Tanzania, and Ambassador Sergey, permanent representative of Ukraine, co-chairs of the 2022 STI Forum. They will deliver welcome and introductory remarks. Following the co-chairs' remarks, Professor Cherry Murray and Dr. Jose Roman from UN Secretary General's 10-member group to support technology facilitation mechanism will deliver their remarks. From the Secretariat side, we have Angel from UNCTAD Geneva, Ima and Ziad from DGCM, and Alex from DESA to support this briefing. Now it is my great honor to invite Ambassador Kennedy to deliver welcome and introductory remarks. Ambassador, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Ambassador Sergey, the permanent representative of Ukraine to the United Nations, and on my own behalf, I would like to first thank you all for joining this informal technical briefing on the 7th Multi-Stakeholders Forum on Science, Technology, and Innovation for the Sustainable Development Goals. Many thanks also goes to colleagues from UNDESA, UNICTAD, Interagency Task Team on STI for the SDGs, the Department of General Assembly and Conference Management, and the 10-member group of high-level representatives for their continued work and assistance to the co-chairs. Excellencies, it has been more than 2 months since the first member states briefing convened by the President of ECOSOC, His Excellency Ambassador Colin Tilapile, and we are now pleased to share further progress made in the preparation for the STI Forum and also to answer your questions related to the forum. Let us recap some of the key messages that have already been shared and highlight some information that will be useful for your preparations. This year, the forum will focus on science, technology, and innovation for building back better from the coronavirus disease, COVID-19, while advancing the full implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. In line with its mandate, the forum serves as a global and multi-stakeholder mechanism for both developed and developing countries through pragmatic and in-depth discussions of a wide range of technology issues. The STI Forum will be held over the period of 2 days, specifically on the 5th and 6th May this year, with a pre-event day on the 4th May for side events. It will comprise of an opening and a closing, a ministerial session, 6 thematic sessions, 3 special events, as well as several informal pre-events and roundtables. It will also feature a virtual exhibit and selected side events. Excellencies, allow me to also talk a little bit on logistics of the forum as follows. Let me begin with the format. The meeting of the forum means opening, closing, ministerial session, and thematic sessions will be held as a hybrid meetings. That means there will be option for both in person especially in the Trustship Council chamber, and virtual participation by Zoom. The special events will also be held as a hybrid, and there will be therefore an option for in-person participation, but also a virtual participation. We expect that the in-person participation will take place in the Trustship Council chamber, and again, the virtual participation will take place on the virtual platform to be confirmed at a later stage. For virtual participants to these meetings, the link to the virtual platform will be made available on the ECOSOC meetings page in the e-delegate portal. In terms of participation, the proceedings of these meetings of the STI Forum will be webcast live and on demand on the UN Web TV and the Hoover platform. It will allow therefore all viewers to follow the proceedings. All other sessions of the forum, namely pre-events, roundtables, exhibits, and side events, will be full virtual and be accessible through the Hoover platform. The meeting of the forum will also be held in the Trustship Council chamber for in-person participants. And again, based on the current guidance, 2 delegates per member state and 1 delegate each for the other delegations will be allowed in the chamber. The above arrangements are in compliance with the letter from the Chef de Cabinet of the Secretary General dated 11 March 2022, which was addressed to the President of the General Assembly. For those joining virtually, only the members of the delegation who intend to speak should log into the Zoom virtual platform. Other members of the delegation may view the proceedings on the webcasts, UN Web TV, or through the Hoover virtual event platform. All virtual platforms or virtual participants who intend again to take the floor during the meetings are strongly encouraged to join the virtual platform up to about 1 hour in advance for the start time of the meeting in order to confirm that their connections is working properly. The Secretariat has shared the details guides on the use of Zoom platform, but also on the meetings with the remote simultaneous interpretations. Excellencies, in terms of ministerial session, a concept note of the ministerial session with the proposed guiding questions is available on the website and was also circulated by the Secretariat. Delegation whose ministers wish to express an interest to speak during the ministerial session should register through the e-speakers module on the e-delegate portal. I want to remind you that inscription will open on Monday, 4th April at 10 a.m. and will also close on Monday, 25th April at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Delegation will be asked to confirm whether the delivery of the statement will be in person, virtual, or by pre-recorded video. In order to hear as many statements as possible within the limited time available, a time limit of 3 minutes per statement will be strictly implemented. A provisional list of ministers that have expressed an interest in speaking during the ministerial session will be circulated prior to the opening of the forum. Delegations not delivering a statement at the ministerial session, including those represented below the ministerial level, may choose to submit written statements to the Secretariat. The contacts are available on the participant guide. Requests to deliver pre-recorded statement at the ministerial session through the e-speakers module must be made by Monday, 25th April 2022 at 5 p.m. The deadline for submission of a pre-recorded video for the ministerial session is by Thursday, 28th April 2022. In this regard, it will not be possible to accommodate requests to submit pre-recorded video for the segment that are received after 28th April 2022. Those delegations that indicate their preference to submit a pre-recorded video in the inscription on e-speakers will be provided with a dedicated link to upload the video file. The video file should be uploaded by 28th April 2022 or as soon as possible after receiving the link from the Secretariat via email, and the video files must adhere to the time limit of 3 minutes. Excellencies, the time that's allocated to the STI forum in a hybrid module is scarce. In this regard, we welcome the submission of written statements from the delegations. We, as co-chairs, we look forward to your ministers' participation to the forum so as to have a fruitful discussion on promoting science, technology, and innovation for sustainable development. Excellencies, at this note, I would like now to give the floor to my colleague, co-chair, Ambassador Segi, the permanent representative of Ukraine to the United Nations, for his opening remarks, and will also highlight the other important information regarding the STI Forum. I thank you, and Ambassador Segi, you have the floor.
Well, thank you very much, my dear friend Kennedy, distinguished delegates. It's my pleasure to continue informing you on the practical aspects of the upcoming STI Forum. Let me turn to the scenario of the forum. As concerns the scenario, there will be no advance inscription for participation in the interactive discussions to be held on the 5th and the 6th of May this year. Requests to speak during the interactive discussion should be made after the floor has been opened for a particular discussion by pressing the button on the microphone console for the in-person participants and through the dedicated online speaker form to be shared in the chat board of the platform for virtual participants. Intervention should be limited to 3 minutes or less. The time limit will be strictly implemented, including through the muting of microphones once the time limit is reached. The 7th STI Forum will also be hosted at the HUVA virtual event platform, which provides all registered participants with access to the live stream of all meetings, special events, pre-events, roundtables, side events, and exhibit taking place during the STI Forum. Delegations wishing to access the HUVA platform are invited to register and then create a HUVA account using the same email used to event registration. Registration will open soon on the STI Forum website. Relevant information will be circulated separately. Registered participants can access the STI Forum virtually either via a desktop web browser or using the free HUVA mobile application downloadable in the App Store on your Apple device or in Google Play on your Android device. The forum faces the challenge to deliver in the limited course of just 2 days on a range of mandates adopted by member states and to meet their expectations in this regard. Professor Cherry Murray and Dr. Jose Ramon Lopez Portillo Romano of the UN Secretary General's 10-member group of high-level representatives will elaborate more on the thematic areas and topics for discussion at the forum. In this context, it should be noted that the forum is expected to inform and support the SDG deliberations in the high-level political forum on sustainable development in July this year. During the week of the STI Forum, you may also want to visit a virtual technology and innovation exhibition on the HUVA platform. We are planning to have highly interactive discussions that will provide adequate time for interventions from member states and all relevant stakeholders. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the forum would have a high-level ministerial segment with a focus on capacity building and STI roadmaps. We would therefore like to encourage the participation of ministers from relevant fields, such as science and technology, planning, industrial development, education, research, environment, and others, including chief science and technology advisors, heads of research institutions, and academies of science and engineering. Copies of the draft agenda are available on the website of the forum. The outcome. Rest assured that as last year, we will consider key results from the meetings as well as from the call for innovations and side events in our formal summary of the STI Forum to be transmitted to the high-level political forum on sustainable development. As concerns the budget, finally, and like our predecessors had to do before us, we would like to remind you that the technology facilitation mechanism mandates remains largely unfunded. Dedicated regular budget resources commensurate with the mandate and expectations is still lacking for key parts of the mechanism. These includes participation in the STI Forum, the online technology platform 2030 Connect, mandated activities of the 10-member group, and the extensive work of the interagency task team. This continues to have an impact on what the STI Forum can achieve. The mechanism has been kept alive by the volunteer contributions, by many who consider the mechanism to be one of the most tangible achievements of the Addis Ababa Action Agenda and of the 2030 Agenda. We commend them for their engagement, but in the end, without commensurate funding, reality may simply fall short of the many expectations. In conclusion, I would again like to thank the interagency task team and the 10-member group for their work and dedication. In particular, I'm grateful to colleagues of DESA and UNCTAD. They have shown a strong commitment to ensuring the success of this endeavor. Going forward, we will keep you informed on the progress made. We look forward to hearing your thoughts and guidance to carry on this conversation towards the STI Forum in May and beyond. I thank you. And I have to now, I understand, to hand over the microphone to Cherry Murray. Cherry, you have the floor, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I want to offer the 10-member group's thanks to Ambassadors Gaston and Kizlitsa, the IATT team, and the Secretariat, especially DESA and UNCTAD. And I just want to point out that the thematic sessions, special events, and side events of the forum are coming along nicely. They, as you heard from the ambassadors, they'll be for the most part virtual and hosted on the Whova platform. The Whova platform will allow booths for in-depth discussions, showcasing and networking. And the nice thing about it is that there's a single sign-on for all events, including all side events. So far, there are 55 side events approved, and they will be on May 4th and early and late on May 5th and May 6th. The major theme for the forum, as you heard, is using STI for building back better from the coronavirus pandemic while advancing the full implementation of the SDGs. And the ministerial session and the thematic session 1 will focus on that theme. Basically, what have we learned from the pandemic and how to build back better? The SDGs 4, Education for All, 5, gender equity, 14, life below water, 15, life on land, and 17, partnerships for the goals, will be the focus for the forum, as they are the focus for the high-level political forum. But I also, the 10-member group would need to consider 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions in the present circumstances of major conflicts around the world, displacing millions of people. Thematic session 2 will focus on much needed improvements in education, as 90% of the world's children were set back by the pandemic. And we will focus on gender equity. The opening ceremony for a fully virtual innovation exhibit in Houva will highlight female innovators and engagement with eminent women, scientists, and engineers. Thematic session 3 will highlight national and local innovation ecosystems. And Jose Ramon, my colleague, whom I see here, will wax eloquently on these, so I will not dwell on them. Thematic session 4 will look at global public goods, digitization, AI, and connecting the world by 2030. Thematic session 5 will focus on carbon dioxide removal technologies for addressing climate change, which already have funders of research and companies formed to commercialize. But the ramifications of scaling to global impact are still not well understood, and there is a need for an international discussion between all stakeholders. Thematic session 6 will address the next steps for the technology facilitation mechanism to deliver on the SDGs. And around these thematic sessions will be special events and roundtables, global research cooperation between research funders and research partnerships, especially South-South, reflections on Beyond 2030 by the 10-member group, supporting national capacities and the partnerships and action roadmaps, national science policy advice, STI to address the global supply chain crisis, various perspectives and highlights of achievements from across the UN system, S&T futures and scenarios for the SDGs beyond 2030. So I look forward to an extremely interesting meeting, and I will turn over the floor to my colleague, Jose Ramon.
Thank you very much. I really am sorry for joining just now and missing the first part, but I just couldn't get in, and my computer crashed, and so I'm using a laptop here without my notes. I'm trying to organize my notes here. If I may have just one or 2 minutes, because I have nothing in front of me. However, we are talking about session 3, innovation in education access and quality. Is that the case? I'm sorry I missed the first part, Sherry, but
yes,
there's nothing I can do.
Jose, you are welcome to talk about the innovation ecosystems,
Yeah,
and
right.
also education. Yep.
Right. Okay. Well, the whole point is that in a world that is becoming so uncertain, and with rapid changes in the global arena, and with some technologies really having an increasing accelerating impact, the only way for the global South mainly, and for many groups within the global North to face or deal with this is through innovation. innovation in this case doesn't mean creating new frontier technologies, but basically adapting what's there, understanding the challenges and the problems, and inventing a way through. But for this purpose, the great majority of countries and sectors do not have the right ecosystems to do this. So we need to help them create these innovation ecosystems in a way that is practical and financeable. Now, we have to understand that every innovation ecosystem or context is different in each country, and it has to be related necessarily to the culture and traditions and environment, etc., and to the organizational framework of each country. But a fundamental aspect is the triple helix system to work together and be related also to financial markets, so that they can do their innovation and creative work. So what we have been working on is on a way where we can do this in a collaborative, consistent, transparent, financeable, and viable manner towards the SDGs. And some of us have been proposing that such a system has to be homogeneous and has to be scalable, far-reaching, so every sector, and comprehensive, so inclusive. And a way to move in that direction could be to establish a framework of banks of ideas that have, and banks of opportunities that have two sides to it. The Bank of Ideas would organize under a coherent international framework those systems that operate in each country, and support or exponentiate the creative capacity of individuals and entities, be these entities governments or maybe businesses, or even the academic sector, or individuals. But the problem is that in the great majority of cases, and we've seen this once and again, I just had a conference with people in Peru, the industry in Peru and other countries, that we, at least in Latin America and many other southern countries, we have suspicion about innovation. We don't feel strong to do that because we feel that our ideas will be stolen, or will be taken away from us, or that we don't have the financial capacity or the risk assessment to deal with our ideas, to face and respond to our problems. So what do? Well, a Bank of Ideas would go like an incubator, but think of it like a big incubator with an international reach. Would go from the very beginning of idea formulation to the end prototyping, proof of concept, to the commercialization of the whole process. And this can only be done if there is some kind of coherence framework, and it is linked to financial sources. Now, financial sources can be many, but one of them that have not been tapped to a great extent is the charity sector. That could be also included, and the United Nations also could help instrument this by having access to those funds that are linked and that respond to the sustainable development goals. Now, I can go on. I prepared a draft roadmap in this regard that deals with these very complex processes. But what the takeaway is, whatever we design has to be homogeneous, has to be comprehensive, has to imply collaboration, has to involve the active participation of the public, private, and academic sector, and also of society, of individuals, and has to exponentiate the creative forces in each country and each sector. And for that purpose, we need to think of a system that is transparent, easy, that implies common grounds on which that information can be included, and the response to good ideas be executed. I mean, I'm really sorry I don't have all my notes with me. I'm just inventing or remembering what was there in a summarized way. I can of course distribute a new version of a policy brief in this regard, and I don't know if you want me to talk about specifics regarding this session. Another chapter that is important, and probably Thales can talk about it, is of course the important fundamental role that education at all levels and the adaptation of the curricula, the role they have in promoting innovation and promoting the capacity and reducing the digital divide and the technological divide that is diminishing, increasingly diminishing the capacity of the great majority of mankind to leapfrog towards a more inclusive and sustainable world. So I'm in your hands. I'm terribly sorry, Cheryl, that I was not up to standards today, but I will.
No,
I can do so.
I think we should get on with the program. So
yes, yeah. I'm sorry, I don't have my notes here, so I'm speaking out of memory.
I think at this point we will ask the comments. I will ask the Secretariat to tell the member states how they could provide their comments and questions.
Yeah.
All right. In the meantime, I understand that whoever would like to take the floor may use the chat, which is, you see the icon in the lower right corner of the screen. There is also the link provided. So if anyone would like to request the floor during the briefing, should avail of the link that it is in the chat window. And I'm told that the European Union would like to speak, if there is a representative of the European Union. And I hand over back to Kennedy, my friend Kennedy. I understand that you, if the king of the meeting, you rule us all today, right?
Oh, no. Thank you, brother Ambassador Asegi. Indeed, the floor is now open, and let's welcome the European Union as the first to break the ice and have the floor, the European Union. And I understand that Peggy Visas will be speaking on behalf of the European Union. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much to Dessa and to all the presenters for giving us this briefing today. It's very useful, and it's much appreciated as well. It does sound like a very full and interesting STI forum this year, with all the thematic sessions, the special events, and 55 side events in a few days. So that's truly impressive. For the EU and its member states, we are pleased to note that the last adopted STI resolution directly mentions the work of the United Nations Interagency Task Team on Science, Technology and Innovation for SDGs, that the European Union, in particular, our Joint Research Center, has been supporting since 2018. It is important for us that this topic is also taking up during the STI Forum this year, more specifically in the thematic session 4 on innovation ecosystems and STI Forum Special Event 5 on supporting national capacities and partnership in action for STI for SDGs roadmaps. In recent years, it has become clear to everyone that STI is more important than ever before in all countries, and especially with regard to developing countries. Science, technology and innovation can facilitate the achievement of all the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And with this in mind, the development of national STI for SDGs roadmaps is a step in the right direction. We support the idea of the Partnership in Action as a multi-stakeholder informal group to generate support and advocate the implementation of the technology facilitation mechanism, in particular, the work related to the STI for SDGs roadmap. So we stand ready to further support this work, and starting this year, the European Union will support the development of STI for SDGs roadmaps in sub-Saharan Africa. This was something I wanted to share. We will be present and proactively participating during the STI Forum. So once again, thank you for this briefing. Thank you.
I really thank the European Union for the very constructive comments, and I welcome those initiatives because, again, they very much they are timely in, again, promoting the science, technology, and innovation as we march towards the SDGs and the 2030 agenda. The next speaker is Japan, and I wish to give the floor to Ayako Ito, who will be speaking on behalf of Japan. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. Japan would like to extend our sincere thanks to His Excellency Ambassador Kennedy of Tanzania and His Excellency Ambassador these roadmaps. Japan has been actively supporting the Technology Facilitation Mechanism, TFM, outlined in paragraph 70 of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which aims to facilitate multi-stakeholder collaboration and partnership through the sharing of information, experiences, best practices, and policy agenda among member states, civil society, the private sector, the scientific community, and United Nations entities, and other stakeholders. So we are excited to see a robust and comparing agenda of this year's STI Forum, linking with the SDGs to be reviewed in depth at the coming HLPFs, SDGs 4, 5, 15, and 14 and 15. Also the crucially important areas such as the global research cooperation, funding, and partnerships. To this end, I would like to ask two practical questions. First of all, are there any event sessions held only virtually? Secondly, would it be still possible to propose panelists or speakers for some specific sessions from the member states? Thank you very much.
I thank you very much, Ayako Ito, speaking on behalf of Japan, and for your continued support, for Japanese continued support in the context of the science, technology, and innovation. But also, thank you for the two questions that you have raised in terms of the event and the possibility of having speakers. And I think we shall respond to that shortly. But in the meantime, let me try to see if there is any other person wishing to take the floor so that at least we can have the first round of questions, comments before we move to respond to the questions raised. May I invite Secretary to somehow share some light on this, on the two questions that were raised by distinguished representative of Japan? Secretary, please, you have the floor.
Ambassador Kennedy, we actually didn't hear well the first question. Can we request Ayako from Japan to repeat her first question, please?
Sorry.
Yes, absolutely.
My first, may I thank you very much, Ambassador Kennedy. And Wade from DESA. My first question was, are there any events, sessions held only virtually? Thank you.
Yes, I think I will now invite the Secretary to respond whether do we have events that are held exclusively virtual, 100% virtual. I think that's a question, because in our briefing we have indicated that events will be in hybrid, in a sense of in person in the Trustship Council chamber, but also on Zoom. But the question now, do we have any other event that are exclusively 100% virtual? That's all the first question. The Secretary, to have the floor.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, Ayako. Yes, the short answer is yes. We have several sessions wholly pure virtual. We encourage delegates to go to the STI Forum's website. There's a document called Participant Guide. And in the guide, we actually specify the sessions format. There's session, as Ambassador said, there's sessions are in the hybrid format. And also there are sessions on the fully virtual format. Back to you, Ambassador, please.
Thank you. There was another question on the possibility of suggesting speakers at this stage. Can you also respond to that?
Yes, we encourage member state delegates to propose the speakers, but as we expected, we are shipping up the program. We had several workshops with a 10-member group. So we encourage, if you have suggestions, you may need to send it right now without any delay. So we actually already have a pretty long list of suggestions from the UN Interagency Task Team and also 10-member group. Co-chairs also provide a lot of great guidance and suggestions. So, but for delegates, if you have suggestions, you can go ahead and send to us. We are putting them together for co-chairs to review and so on, but these things need to be done fairly quickly. Thank you.
I thank the Secretariat for your responses. Let me now invite the representative from the Permanent Mission of Mexico. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. Can you hear me and see me? Thank you.
Yes.
Good afternoon, colleagues.
We can hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you. Proceed.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I would like to express my gratitude for convening to your excellencies for convening this meeting, and to DESA for all your work. I would like to express the full support of Mexico to this process, and we will be engaged in all the areas. In that regard, well, one of my questions was about to propose some panelists, so thank you so much for the clarification. And I have 2 points. The first one, it's about the thematic session 2 mentioned by Mrs. Murray. If I heard well, the topic is the focus on education and also gender. I heard gender equity, but in order to be aligned with the SDGs, Mexico would like to express that our preference is to have a focus on gender equality. This is a substantive change, and we consider that in order to be aligned with the 2030 agenda, it should be gender equality for your kind consideration. And about what was mentioned about by Mr. Lopez Portillo, we full support it. We agree with that. As a matter of fact, rapid technological change has widening the digital divides. So as a matter of fact, it's important to address this topic through innovation. And in that regard, we would like also to propose to not only see the STI resolution adopted at the second committee, but also to consider the mandates of the Rapid Technological Change Resolution, the resolution 75316. For your consideration, we have some mandates, specific mandates for example, in the paragraph 15, so sorry, we reiterate the mandate of the multi-stakeholder forum, and we have a lot of language that could be useful for the work of the forum. Thank you so much.
I thank you very much for your intervention and comments, but also your affirmation of commitment to the forum. I appreciate that. I understand that you raise some clarification question addressed to thematic session 2 in terms of the gender equity as opposed to gender equality in terms of the SDG. I wonder whether Professor Sherry Muir would wish to respond to that. If that's the case, then you have the floor.
Thank you. And thank you to the delegate from Mexico for bringing up the distinction between equity and equality. And I agree with your point. For education needs to have gender equality. We'll make sure that is part of the theme of the session.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me see if there is any other delegates wishing to take the floor. I see none for the time being. And I think that being the case, I think I would now wish to perhaps invite again my co-chair, Ambassador Segi, if you have anything to say relating to the inputs that we just received from the distinguished delegates. If not, before again inviting some further clarification from UNDESA and other, if any. Brother Ambassador Sege, is there anything that you wish, or should we move to the next item?
No, thank you, Kennedy. Let's move on with our next item. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much. And then again, I see a note from a delegate that we should propose to have a speaker to share possible synergies in the monitoring framework of STI 4 SDGs round table. There is a comment here. Can I invite Wilhelmina Kwaye? Apologies if I make a mistake in pronouncing your name, to take the floor so that you can make your comment to us. Are you there?
Yes,
please.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I'm concerned about giving us some opportunity during the SCI forum to share synergies on the UNESCO 2017 RSSR, as well as those of us who have been involved in piloting STI for SDG roadmaps. Thank you.
Secretariat, can you respond to the comment made? Hello, are we? Yes, please.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Yeah, there's some technical issue. I didn't hear well your sound. I think it's probably muted.
I see.
Yeah. Thank you. We hear the comment with regard to the work on the STI for SDG roadmaps. I actually want to invite my colleague Jose Roman, who is present in this meeting, and also colleague from UNCTAD. I understand they're also in this meeting to share their view too. They are all working on this topic. I say too much about this meeting already. Maybe I want to encourage other colleagues to come in, if you allow me, Ambassador. Thank you.
Yes, I do. And before that, I see Professor Ched would wish to speak a little. Just.
Yes, I don't see Jose Roman. He may have dropped off. So I just want to state that in special event 3, there will be exactly the opportunity that is requested, which is to share synergies between those countries that are doing the partnership in action.
Okay. Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Now, in terms of our schedule, I wish to again give the opportunity from the UNDESA, UNICTAD, but also IATT co-conveners, if there are any questions to the Secretariat that you need to be raised at this stage, I will be pleased to give you the floor from UNDESA, UNICTAD, IATT conveners. Is there any issue that need to be raised at this stage?
Yes, Ambassador, if I may.
Sure. You have the floor.
Thank you. I just want to highlight, you have already spoke at your opening remarks, the inscription for to deliver a statement at the ministerial session. The inscription will open on Monday, April 4 at 10 a.m. It will close on Monday, 25th April at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So just want to highlight this this point of information. Of course, all this guidance will be available on the STI forum. So just want to highlight the time frame for the inscription for the ministerial sessions statement. Thank you.
I thank you very much, UNDESA. This is very important. Any other from the UNICTAD?
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Excellencies, members of the 10-member group, colleagues and friends at the UN. Just a brief comment. We don't really have anything to add from an organizational point of view. We're delighted that things are moving forward. We think that the STI policy domain certainly does not have enough visibility, both at the national level, but also at the UN level. And this is why events such as this STI forum are extremely important, so that we advance the STI policy agenda at all levels. We're particularly looking forward to all the thematic sessions and events. Personally, I'm very much looking forward to the one on women in STEM. The one on innovation ecosystem touches me very much because I have been involved over the years in writing and analyzing STI policies and doing STI policy reviews. Of course, the national capacities is an extremely important issue. And in that sense, I'd just like to change my hat from UNCTAD to the co-chair of Workstream 6 on capacity building, and express on part of this workstream, but also on all the others, that we hope that we will have at least a few minutes to showcase some of our work during the STI forum. A number of colleagues have made extreme efforts, in particular during the COVID pandemic period, to ensure a continuation of our work and of our engagement with beneficiaries worldwide. And having said that, thank you once again to everyone, and I look forward to seeing many of you during the STI forum. Thank you.
I thank you very much for your input, and again, we welcome and we look forward again to really you sharing with us those practical experiences that you have from your other hat, as you pointed out. To this end, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I wish now to really invite my colleague, brother Ambassador Segi, as a co-chair, but also the permanent representative of Ukraine to the United Nations, to move a closing remarks and formally close the session. Brother Ambassador Segi, you have the floor.
Well, thank you very much. The only thing I would like to say, I would like to express my gratitude to everyone involved in the preparation. I think that we slowly but steadily move to the forum, and it seems that everything has been in order so far. I encourage once again all countries and actors concerned to be mindful of the deadlines. So we have the registrations and requests on time. Thank you very much.
I thank you very much. Now the session is formally closed, but again, in the interest of really wider consultation, I note that Guyana had asked for the floor, and yeah, I think it would be fair if a minute or two could be availed to representative of Guyana to really take the floor, please. Guyana,
good morning, ambassadors and other colleagues, and of course, thank you for the briefing. I just wanted to ask quickly. I joined late, so I don't know if this was touched. I know the ministerial inscription for ministers to deliver statements is going to open on Monday, but for other delegates on the in the delegation, is there a process of registering them as well? Thank you.
Okay. Once again, thank you very much. The Secretariat, could you quickly respond to this? Secretariat, please. Yes, wait.
Ziad, maybe you can take this.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Co-Chair. Just on registration, just to confirm that there's no registration process for the STI forum. For virtual participants, as was mentioned earlier, the link to the virtual platform will be made available in the e-delegate portal under ECOSOC meetings. And for those delegations participating in person, the same procedures apply. There's no registration. There is also, as mentioned, the capacity constraint that at any given time, 2 delegations or 2 representatives per delegation for member states would be in the room, and the same applies for the virtual platform, just to ensure capacity constraints on the virtual platform, while the remaining delegates can, of course, join on webcast. So just to confirm that there's no registration as such for the forum. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much for that note. Now, I think let me put on record my appreciation to all of you for taking time to join us today in our informal technical briefing today, which has been extremely helpful. And I thank all the speakers, secretariat, and delegates that have had time to attend this. And again, on behalf of my brother, Ambassador Sege, my co-chair, we look forward to active participation, your active participation in this, and I hope that we are going to have a very successful STI forum this year. And with that note, I wish you a good day, and back to the Secretariat, our hosts, to technically close the meeting. I thank you very much. A very good bye.
you.